Did you cash our Game 1 free play on the Florida Panthers money line? Stay tuned for a recap of Game 1 and a breakdown and a free play of today's Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Trees Bergeron spins the pass to Pasternak. Oh, magic! Now you see it, now you know.
What's good, fam? Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm Exotic Wagers. I am one of the sports consultants over at the Legacy Sports Discord, where we charge just $14.99 a month and we cover most major sports. Click the link in the description below to join. There's also a link to our free side of the Discord where we give out free picks weekly. Before you guys jump to conclusions, this is not a Dallas Stars jersey. As most of you guys know, I'm from Arizona, so I am a Coyotes fan, although they did leave to Utah this year. I'll probably still follow the team as I'm a fan of a lot of the players. But I ordered this. This is the St. Patty's Day version of the Coyotes jersey. And since they were leaving, I decided to order a custom one. And the back of it, I got my business name, or Exotic Wagers. This is what the back of it looks like. But yeah, so let's get on to a recap of Game 1. The Panthers win 3-0. It was 1-1 or 1-0 at the end of one. But although it was a shutout, the box score stats kind of tell somewhat of a different story. The Oilers outshot the Panthers 32-18. Veregi got his first goal at I think 3 minutes and 59 seconds on a two-man rush with a pass across the ice from Barkov, and it stayed 1-0 at the end of one. And then 2 minutes and 16 seconds into the second period, Rodriguez scores on a nice dish from Bennett on a two-man rush as well. So, and it seemed like the Oilers controlled the puck for at least the first two periods. And with Florida having the lead, the Oilers had to push their offense for most of the game. Third period, the Panthers played their game, heavy on the forecheck, sticks on pucks, and kind of gobble up the space on the ice. Bobby Bobrovsky Sergei Bobrovsky stood on his head and had 32 saves and had a shutout in that game. The Oilers held the Panthers to just 18 shots on goal, but Florida had some grade A shot chances on those goals, which were almost impossible to stop. I think with the Panthers getting out to an early lead, they were able to kind of just maintain that, and third period just pretty much tried to play defense by keeping the puck in the O-zone. And like I said, if you watched my first or my second video on this Game 1, I said, the teams were pretty much evenly matched up on the first two lines, but it was going to be the difference in goalie, in my opinion. As you can see, Sergei had 32 shots and blocked them all. I even said, I think it was when I was giving out my Conn Smythe look on Bobrovsky, I said if he has one or two shutouts, he would be a good nominee to win the Conn Smythe. And lo and behold, first game out, he got a shutout. So let's look at those Conn Smythe props that I gave out and see. So I did give out Connor McDavid, and this was one that I actually took. I put 0.2 units to win 1 unit for Connor McDavid to have over 3+ shots on goal in every game in the series. In the first series, he got 6 shots on goal. So this bet is still alive. And then let's look at the Conn Smythe for McDavid. So before Game 1, I was saying if you felt like if you thought that the Panthers, the Edmonton Oilers, were gonna win this series, it's almost a 99% chance that the Conn Smythe goes to Connor McDavid. So I had told you guys to, if you did like that, it was at plus 200 before game one. But after the opening game loss, the odds have moved up to plus 310. So if you haven't taken that and you still believe the Oilers are going to win and Connor McDavid's going to turn it around and put this team on his back to win this Stanley Cup, I would sprinkle on Connor McDavid to win the Conn Smythe at plus 310. I also had mentioned Sergei Bobrovsky. Now, Sergei Bobrovsky already went out and got us a shutout. And I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass on this one because I did not bet this. I had told you guys I was not betting this. But before game one, this was plus 450. And after game one, it is now 220. So this is looking like a good bet as long as Sergei Bobrovsky continues to, either do shutouts or keep the Oilers from scoring two or less. I think this really has a good chance. And looking back at Sergei Bobrovsky, to give some feedback on that, I believe I was looking at the last 15 games. It might have been 15 games in the playoffs, but he's only allowed a team to get 3 or more goals. I think like 3 of 15 games or something like that. So I was possibly looking at maybe taking in this next game Oilers under 2.5 goals. It was like minus 108. It was just something I was looking at, but I thought I'd mention that to you guys. So moving on to game two, I think if the Oilers want to win this Stanley Cup, the Oilers are going to have to find a way to attack the middle of the ice. Bobby's just playing way too good to be shooting the puck from the outside. And he's also standing on his head. So you got to figure out a way to get that puck in the goal. I know some of the commentators were talking about if you're going to score on Sergei, you got to go top shelf because his bottom blocking is elite. So I would expect some teams to, for them to go and try to explore that or just put more pucks on net. I know they put 32, but they're going to have to do more, pass more, be a lot more effective. Also, Oilers are also going to need some production from the third and the fourth lines. I think on those lines is where they have the better advantages. And as they usually do, McDavid and Draisaitl are going to need to get their teammates involved and drawing defenders to them to create space for them to shoot. As for the Panthers, they need to not make any mistakes. Sergei covered up a lot of those odd man breakaways and turnovers. They need to keep up the forecheck aggressive play and keep the hits up. Florida out hit Edmonton almost 2-1, out hitting them 57-32 in game one. With Florida taking the lead early, I didn't think we saw potential of how good they can be yet. I think it's going to be very hard to keep a lead on the Panthers. Skinner let up 2 goals on 18 shots. So definitely Skinner's got to be better. He didn't even see a lot of volume. And he let up a goal on the first shot of both periods. So I think he needs to build up some confidence. But if he's going to be letting up early goals on early shots, that's not the way to go. If the Panthers Pepper Stewart, good luck to him because, like I said in my previous video, I don't think he's going to do good under a lot of volume. Let me grab some water. I guess also this is a good time for a good plug. I just ordered some new products. This is a cup, a 20-ounce stainless tumbler. It's got the Legacy logo. It's got the Exotic Wagers logo. But it's I just got it yesterday, so testing it out, see how it is. I also have some T-shirts. Um, I also have a coffee mug, notepad. I do give away these sometimes, so keep an eye out on my Instagram or Twitter. I can give you those handles here. I also have the handles in my link in my description below, in my Linktree link, so you can click that. It has all my social media handles, the link to the WAP to join the Legacy Discord, and also the Legacy social media accounts as well. So let's get into some um, plays I like for game two. And then I will also give you a free play prop that I am playing in game two. Let me share my screen here. So the first play I'm going to go over. It's Evan Bouchard. Let me pull him up here. So if we look at Evan Bouchard's shot total, it's over 2.5 shots on goal. I believe. Let me see if I can find the best odds. I believe it is over here on props. I mean on BetStamp. For anybody that doesn't line shop or line shops, if you guys want to use BetStamp, they have both mobile apps for both iOS and for Android. But it's a really good app to use. You can, download or, add all the sports books that you have, and it'll shop the best lines for you, and you can kind of see what's working, and what the lowest odds are. So let's go to Evan Bouchard. Shots on goal. So currently the best line is -125 over at ESPN Bet. It's also over at Bet365 and a couple other books there. But going back to his stats. So if we look at his away stats, he's shooting at 56%, 28 of 50 on the season. He is better on the road than he is at home. So we can see that there. And then let's look at the playoffs. So if we look at the playoffs here, he's covering this line at 58% during the playoff season. But if we also look at his away, he is shooting 70%. He's covered this 7 of the last 10 times. And if you wanted to take it a step further, you can also look at his matchup versus Florida, where he's shot 71% head-to-head, 5 of 7. Also, I forgot to mention on some of those other stats, if you want to look at volume, he is shooting at 8.1 attempts per game, which is great volume for a line at 2.5. But if you let's look at these playoffs and see what his volume is at during the playoffs. So 8.2. He's had a lot of games where 15, 16 attempts. So this is a great look at -125 for him to get over 2.5 shots on goal. The next play we're going to look at is Alexander Barkov. Right here. So Alexander Barkov's covered this line at 50% of the time during the season. If we look at the Edmonton matchup, he's covered this in 4 of the last 5. He did only have 2 shots on goal this last game one. He did have 3 attempts, but I think, they were out with the lead early. So there was no real reason to shoot when I think Ferraggi and a few others were shooting the puck. So Barkov did have 2 assists in that first game. He's also another, I think, front runner for the Conn Smythe. I believe. I don't know what his odds were before, but I did see that they are like around 300, at least on, I think it was on FanDuel when I was looking. So getting back to Alexander Barkov, he's covered this 4 of the last 5. Let's look at his playoffs. So his playoffs, he's only covered this line at 44%. He is shooting 60% at home, so that he does shoot a lot better at home. Away, he's only covered 2 of the last 8. So, and he has not missed on back-to-back games. So he only had 2 last game. I would expect for him to have 3 this game. But yeah, I think also I had mentioned back when, either first game or the second game, I had mentioned Barkov's history against them as well. Let me see where I have that. Just a second while I pull it up. So if you look at Alexander's last 10 games versus Edmonton, he's covered the over 2.5 shots on goal, 6 of the last 10 games. But he's got some really high numbers in there, 10, 7, 4. So yeah, I think this is a really good look for Alexander Barkov. And then my last play that I like here, which is going to be my free play. Let me pull him up here. Connor McDavid. So let's look at Connor McDavid. First, during the season, he shot 40% over 3.5 shots on goal. And if you know Connor McDavid, he's typically, pass first, then shoot, likes to draw defenders to himself, had over 100 points this season. But this is playoff hockey, so I expect him to go out, especially now that they're down 1-0 in this series. But at home, he shot 57% on the series. On the road, he's only shot 24%. But if you look in the last 5 games, he's covered this 4 of the last 5 times. And he's shot in over 4 times. If you look at his volume, he's shooting 8 attempts, average on 8 attempts per game. And then also, it's not necessarily a stat, but I mean, it is a stat. I did look at all of his playoff games, and he is to cover over 3.5 shots on goal in 4 of his last 5 games after a loss. So typically, right after a loss, he comes to play. He wants to put the game and team on his shoulders and come out and try to score. So if anybody, I would probably take him maybe for a goal next game. But I'm still kind of leaning the Panthers. I just think Sergei, there's no way he's going to let up more than 2 goals. And if the Oilers are going to win, it's going to be a 1-2 game. I don't think we're going to see a 3-2 game, maybe a 3-2 game, but maybe a 1-0, 2-1, 3-1 type of game, empty net at the end of the game. So, but yeah, this is my my free play for you guys. I believe I caught this over at, let's see, Connor McDavid. I want to say I got plus 110. Yeah, I got plus 110 over at Bet365. I did play to win 1 unit or 1.5 units. So I bet 1.36 units to win 1.5 units over at Bet Online. And yeah, that's my free play. So, like I said, if Edmonton wants to win, McDavid can't play good. He's got to play great. He's the type of player that would, like I said, try to put a team on his back and try to do it all by himself. So even if they get out with an early lead, they're going to have to continue to stay aggressive on the offensive side and not allow any Panthers to get back in the game. Because as it is, I think with them even playing with the lead, you're going to have the Florida Panthers trying to come back and play aggressive. It's really hard to hold a lead on the Panthers. It seems like they'll put 3 pucks up in the last minute just to tie it to beat you in overtime. So, like I said, if you like all this content, please make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications so you get more content just like this. Also, you can also, like I said, find me over at these handles here, and that's my Instagram and Twitter. I also have a Linktree link down in the description where you can find all of my social media, Legacy Sports Discord, social media, and the WAP link to sign up for our Legacy Discord. Thank you for tuning in, and thanks again. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Tuesday for a Game 2 recap. Peace.